Hey y'all, it's Brody, and today I am here to have a bit of a serious talk with you. As you can see, this video is going to be me talking about Exit Pursued by a Bear by E.K. Johnston and how this book helped me and essentially saved my life after my sexual assault. Okay, this is hard to talk about. I've never talked about this so in depth on camera. So I want to preface this video by saying that if you are triggered by sexual assault, PTSD, abuse, self-harm, I guess in a way, um, anxiety, depression, panic attacks, all that stuff, then maybe just click away, and if you feel like you can watch it later, come back when you're in a better headspace. If not, you know, don't fret. I'm not going to be mad at you for protecting your mental health. First, I'm going to talk about the book, and then I'm going to talk about me. So, Exit Pursued by a Bear follows a cheerleader who is like 17 years old. She's going to this cheerleading camp that she goes to every summer. But while she is at the end of summer party, a boy drugs her drink and date rapes her. And it deals with her trying to handle the aftermath of that and learning how to function in society as a survivor, and how often people gloss over what happened to you and they kind of dismiss it and tell you should get over it. It also deals with the way that rape affects how you view yourself, how you function in day-to-day society, all of it. How this thing that someone does to you affects every single part of your life. I don't want to spoil the book for anyone, clearly, but I do want to mention that in the book, besides the things I've mentioned already, there are triggers for abortion, so be mindful of that before you go into it. I read this in 2018 for the booktubeathon. Oh my, I'm literally shaking. Oh my god. I picked it up because it was about cheerleaders, right? And I love cheerleader books. That's one of my things. I also knew that it was a Shakespeare retelling, hence the Exit Pursued by a Bear. And I knew the topic that it dealt with. I knew it dealt with sexual assault and rape, but I didn't realize how deeply that was going to affect me. I knew it would be kind of cathartic, but I didn't know just how much it was going to help me. So what happened was, I liked this guy, and I thought that he liked me back, and I was under the impression that we were going to be, dating, and we were going to be, in a relationship. I was hanging out with my friends one day at the river. We were, laying out on the dock, and we were tanning, right? And I kept putting off going because I was supposed to meet his mom. We go, my friend drops me off, and I realize his mom isn't there, and we're just gonna hang out and watch a movie. So things happen, right? Things start going, and I make it very clear that I'm going to keep my clothes on. I'm not going to take my clothes off. I am, we can kiss, we can do some stuff, but I'm not taking my clothes off. I'm not comfortable with that. It's not going to get to that point. It ended up in was him pinning me down and trying to take off my pants, and I had to shove him off of me. And at the time, I was so shocked, I guess. I'm shaking. Okay. I was so shocked by what had happened that I was like, what the fuck the fuck do I do? I was fully disassociating the entire time. He ends up giving me a ride home, and I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I would burn myself in the shower. I would turn the water on as hot as it would go, and I would just scrub because I could still feel I could still feel him on me. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. And at the time, I'm dealing with a lot of personal family stuff. this was when my mother had been diagnosed with cancer and my brother had an accident, so it was all within a month of each other. And I was the only one working at 18 years old to support my family while dealing with this quietly. I needed some control of my life. And I didn't get it. And I did not get it. I don't know how to go about talking about this. I haven't talked this whole thing all the way through in a very long time. I'm also questioning whether it was my fault. Did I do something that my intentions weren't clear? Am I the one who was leading him on? Is it my fault that this happened? And for a while, I did think it was my fault. I thought, like, okay, like, he didn't understand what I was saying, even though looking back on it, I was very clear. And you shouldn't have to shove someone off of you, no matter how unclear you are. So that happened. Flash forward to 2018, when I read Exit Pursuit by a Bear. I go into it knowing what happens, right? Like, I know it's about sexual assault, and I am like, okay, you know what, like, maybe this can help. Maybe this can do some good for me. And I had not properly processed everything that had happened. This was in, like, 2015. So 3 years after it happens, I pick up the book. I still haven't processed everything. I've repressed it. It's... oh my god. I'm like, let's just repress it. We have to make sure my mom's okay. We have to make sure my family's okay. We just, like, bottle it all up. And then I read the book, and I feel so seen, because it's things that I didn't even realize was happening to me. It got to the point where I could not even think about having sex or kissing someone. I couldn't be attracted to someone without going into a state. I looked into this. PTSD seizures are a thing. I suffer from PTSD seizures. So, now it's not as frequent, but what used to happen was every time I would, you know, think about stuff, every time I would think about sex. So every time I would think about sex, I would start to shake and my body would lock up and I would go into a full shutdown mode. I didn't realize that was PTSD. I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't understand. I didn't know that you could get seizures from PTSD. I didn't realize it was my body doing a fight or flight thing. I did not realize that I thought I was going insane. I thought I was losing my mind because whenever I was, like, working, right, I would hear someone who kind of sounded like him, and I would turn around and immediately freak out. I would see someone who had the same kind of smile as him, and I would freak out. I hated myself almost more than I hated him for allowing it to affect me the way that it did. I am someone who prides myself on my ability to stay cool. I pride myself on my ability to, you know, not let things get to me. I didn't realize that I was just bottling everything up. And then I read the book, and I realized that this is, like, a common thing. I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to be viewed as a survivor. I just wanted to be left alone and just focus on healing myself. I didn't care about the cops. I didn't care about anything like that. I just wanted to, you know, repress it, I guess. I was like, let's just bottle this up and pretend it didn't happen because I have to be the strong one. I have always been the strong one. And reading this book felt incredibly cathartic. In the book, there's a scene where she, like, smells pine or something, and then immediately falls into a panic attack because she was drugged in the woods. And that ties into what I said about like hearing someone laugh and then being like, you know, she feels sick and guilty for being attracted to a guy that she knows, because of what happened. I relate to that. So I didn't date anyone for several years after it happened. I didn't even entertain the idea of dating anyone. Anything that I did was like long distance, hold, far away, so that I can't get hurt. And then I started dating my current partner, and he has been very understanding. He has helped me a lot with things, has taught me a lot about myself and who I am as a person. The thing that I've learned that's most important since all this has happened is it's okay to talk about when bad things happen to you. And it's also important to realize that not all of this is karma. Not all of this is the universe telling you that you deserve it. And what's really important is that you have to give yourself time to heal. It's 2020. My sexual assault happened 5 years ago. Almost exactly 5 years ago. And I'm still not fully over it. I'm still not fully recovering. May is a hard month for me. I always go into a reading slump in May. I always lose motivation. I always get very depressed because it's like the anniversary of the time of the worst imaginable time in my life. And I wanted to talk about this month because I need to get it out, and I need to, I don't know. I pride myself with being a very honest person. I pride myself with being very candid with you. And this is something that's important that I feel like needs to be discussed. So, yeah. I do plan on making this a series on my channel. I don't know how frequent, because even though this is a shorter video for me, it's still very hard to film. It's still very hard to talk about. So don't expect it to be like a monthly series or anything. It's just going to be like whenever I need to let stuff out, whenever I need to talk about a book that has saved my life, that like I can't not talk about anymore. So if E.K. Johnston happens to be watching this, I want to say thank you for writing this book. Thank you for putting Hermione's story out into the world. I want you to know that it has at least helped one person, and that person is me. I will be leaving links in the downstairs for you to go check out that are resources for people you can reach out to, who you can talk to, hotlines, stuff like that. Make sure to go check that out if you are someone who's in need of those things, or you know someone who is in need of those things. No comment question for today. I can't think of... This isn't the kind of video that needs a comment question, so I'm sorry, no comment question for today. Just leave me some hearts in the comments. I would really appreciate that. I think I need them today. That's all I have for you today. If you ever need anyone to reach out to, you can reach out to me on Twitter. It's always linked down below in the downstairs. My DMs are open. I'm not saying you have to follow me or anything. If you ever need anyone to talk to or vent to, just reach out, shoot me a message, and I will respond if I am in a mental state to do so. And if not, I'll let you know. So yeah, just don't be afraid to reach out. Don't do what I did. I thought that just bottling up was a way to cope, and it's not. That was my biggest mistake with the whole thing, was not talking about it and not being honest about it. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. I will see you next time for another video that is hopefully more cheery than this. Okay, I love you. Cool.